questions?
I have a comment.
Yes.
It's just, I've done this a long time and it is very, it feels good to me that you are on this project.
Thank
and
you.
This firm is on this project. And I don't think anybody besides Glad knows the buildings like you do, and to create the space that you have evolved to with the limited space we have is refreshing.
Thank you.
And I am glad that you're here.
I'll piggyback on that too. We were at a facility meeting probably about a year ago when Vaughn asked the key question. And Vaughn said, is the Heritage Hall current space, is that untouchable? Is that sacred space? Or how attached are you to that room the way it is right now? And, we immediately thought, what was Heritage Hall and the previous cafeteria and the 1928 gymnasium. And little by little, everyone started letting go of, well, it's no longer the 1928 gymnasium, it's no longer the cafeteria. And maybe that could be a redesigned space. And he came up with the concept of maybe that could be the 6th grade center. And that maybe we could actually dig down below the gymnasium floor, which is currently underutilized space, to really start maximizing the basement of that whole area. And as a landlocked facility, to really maximize the space. So it's that kind of thinking that we're able to tap with ICS and with Wold together to maximize the benefit for, not only for the building, but for our whole community. So, way to go.
It's fun to work with the district repeatedly, and when we think about this building, it's always phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, because there's things that you're always thinking about and always talking about, well, when we do our next project, let's tackle this. And so there's that history there, and I know that if we do something wrong, Deb doesn't let us forget it. And so we make sure that we do it right.
We have art.
Yes, we have art to move, but that's a future discussion. So.
How much of this building have you done?
Let's see, we've worked in, probably touched 80–90% of it, if you think about all the mechanical work and other parts too. So you're a very refreshing district in that you're constantly looking at what do we need for the next phase of how we educate our kids. You look at reinvesting in your facilities about every 10 years. You stay current on what's happening, and you don't let yourself get behind. And so it's very fun to have those conversations on a regular basis to keep working.
Feedback on that too. Just a thank you again to our facilities committee that showed up at 4 o'clock for every Monday for over a year. So this kind of launch doesn't happen with being really grounded on a complete district view. We just came from an earlier board discussion just about 4-year-old programming, and we're looking at doing some cutting-edge things for this district that many districts around the state wish that they were doing, and having that conversation for next fall. So whether it's for our earliest learners, or for our elementary schools, or for 6th grade, and then even for the track and PAC in addition as bonuses. I think the facilities committee just deserves a thank you for their forward-thinking way to tie so many pieces together. So, way to go.
Can you talk
Yep.
to how this might affect the kids? I mean, we talked about the major construction piece, I think you said would be in June of 15.
Yep.
Any major impacts on the kids that the kids will see prior to that? Or?
Well, Butch might actually be able to give a little bit better context around that in terms of what's happening, but most of what will happen in 2014 is it's going to be a lot of prep work. Yes, we'll get the PAC open during that time, and so that will help with some of the activity needs. Filling in that space over the wrestling room will provide some flexibility in terms of how you look at programming and scheduling for the space. And there's really nothing happening in the old Heritage Hall that, from an educational standpoint, that demolition should impact. There'll be some some temporary disruption to the full use of the auditorium, obviously, during that time, because with construction going on right next to it, that'll be difficult, and we're gonna wanna be very sensitive about the 7th and 8th grade area during construction. But that's really where we're gonna isolate most of that construction during the school year, and so it's a lot to tackle, the STEM and the media center components during that summer of 2015, but we've done similar projects working with ICS before, and so we know how to manage that and get that done. But after the last day of school, it's pretty much going to be off limits inside the building until we get that construction work wrapped up for fall of 15. So.
The other piece that, which is already kind of has eyes on is that area above the wrestling room to be able to be used as flex space for some of the things that are currently going on in the 1928 Gymnasium or Heritage Hall space right now. We have a number of things like testing or IB art shows or things that just continue to cycle through. And so Butch is really holding that area sacred, but we'll protect that for much of next year as we do construction this summer. Other questions while you have the lead of ICS and Wold architects and high school principals and school board here?
Could you just make a brief comment about Lincoln and Enclosure? That year one, how it's coming along?
Brief comment? They're great schools. They're under construction. Scott, you can probably actually answer that better than I can.
Do you want to just take 2 minutes
They're-
on that? Update about
The Lincoln and Composure schools are the additions, kindergarten additions, and we bid those out this fall. We have contractors on site right now. Currently, they've got the foundation work completed now, and they're starting the above grade type of exterior wall construction and starting some of the steel installation right now. If you drive by either Composure or Lincoln, you will see that, there's a lot of steel like Composure. You'll see a lot of scaffolding set up there now. They're gonna start to enclose some of that scaffolding for the winter construction. But when they're complete with that, when they take the poly out, you'll see that the exterior walls will be complete. And things are running very well on that, and the timeline on that is they're tracking very good on that. We should have those open by the fall of next year. So. And then there's some site work at Lincoln too that would not start until school is out in June.
Really cold, is really something like anything.
Well, the cold weather does slow down some of the construction and some of their activities. They're going to delay a little bit until some of this weather breaks. So we knew we were going to have some slow days the last days with weather because it is in Minnesota. But all in all, they're tracking right on schedule.
Butch or Glenn, anything you'd like to add? Just from your perspective, you worked and interfaced more with staff than anyone else. Glenn, you're on site quite a bit with current construction. Anything else you'd like to add?
I guess I'd just say that there was a lot of input coming from key stockholders in this. We're going to be involved, so we listened to a lot of people, got a lot of different ideas. I think it's very exciting, and there's going to be some obstacles that we'll run into, but at the same time, it's only going to be about a year or so until we have a beautiful facility, and that's what we have to keep in mind.
So anyone that's remodeled their kitchen or their bathroom knows some of the headaches we're going to be into the summer and the next school year. And we'll live through that to open up in 2015 with just a finished product. So I just want to say thank you for coming tonight. Again, thanks to our leaders for getting us to this point. Thanks to ICS and the architectural team and Ben for working over Thanksgiving break. We pulled together to get to this point. By getting to this point, we'll be able to bring everything to the school board for next week, for them to continue to allow plans to get to deep dive for architectural precision drawings over the next couple of months, so then we can get out to bid for construction this spring to then be set to go on the day we end school to be able to start deconstruction the next day. So, thanks everyone for coming tonight, and the school board will see you down the hill at City Hall.